Hello guys, once again it's Matt and today we have another video. Thank you all the members, all the patrons, make sure to subscribe and let's get into it guys. So today we are going to have another tier list, but today we're going to use this Thunderblog kind of system that they actually made it, which is incredible. So go help them. I will show how it kind of works, but go help them, go join their Discord and give this thing an attention because it's pretty amazing actually what they did here. It's basically a site or an engine here, whatever you want to call it, that basically makes you create a tier list for vehicles. And they are actually improving it to make you have, for you to actually comment on tier list for other people's and basically do all sorts of good, fun stuff over here. And tier lists have been in the channel for kind of a while now. And I normally use another system that is just made for every type of tier list there. And I actually have to do the images and stuff. So this actually helps a lot for doing videos like this. So go out there. I will leave the links in the description, okay? So you can check it out. And I will show a little bit on how to do it. And I will do my personal tier list of something over here. And I probably will do 2 videos of these just to actually have fun with this. So once you actually are here, you can actually click here to show some options. You can have some options of how everything will be. And once you actually click here, you can actually select types of vehicles from each nation, for example, all the nations in the game. If it's a ground battle, a vehicle, aviation, naval battles, realistic arcade, to actually filter out the BRs and the roles of the aircraft or tank that you are doing. So you can actually add a BR range over here, for example. Let me just put it, for example, today I really wanted to make 11.0 and 10.0 kind of margin over here. So I will do the best aircraft because I already did kind of a top tier kind of situation. So if you guys like to, I will do another one with that in the future. But let's just do like fighters from between the 10.0 and 11.0, which are the best fighter aircraft between the 10.0 and 11.0 BR. So we are going to collect the nations afterwards, and we're going to basically do aviation over here, realistic battles for now because it's a medium ground over here, and then we're going to select 3 of these. So jet fighter will probably be the one that it's in every single one. Let's just choose fighter just to be sure, and interceptor, but you can basically, the bombers, for example. Then you can choose dive bomber, frontline bomber, long range bomber, for example. And then it will basically show what vehicles you want. So, for example, let's start with Germany. Germany have all these fighters in this BR range. So we can add them all and actually, talk a little bit about them. So let's start with the MiG-21 SPSK over here. The SPSK, and then we have like the highest tier here, the medium to high, medium to bad, and then really bad. And then you can basically choose whatever you want to do. For example, the SPS, I would think that it's right here. It's an amazing premium aircraft, rank 6. It really, really is a very, very good aircraft. It's not for sale right now, so if you want to buy it, you have to wait for them to add in a special occasion. But it is an incredible aircraft. I really do love it. It has one problem. It has only 2 proper pylons that it is limited for the R60s and R13s, but still, it is pretty good. And if you take the cannon, you cannot use the flares, which is a problem as well, right? So yeah, I would add it right here. An amazing aircraft, but not the best out there, right? And then we're going to add the MF, for example. I think the MF is one of the best aircraft in this BR range. It is a 10.3 and it has the R13 engines. It's very light and nimble. It can take the normal R60s. You can take flares. No, does it have flares? I forgot that he has flares or not. I think he does, right? Yeah, he does. It's been a while since I've flown this, but yeah, rank 7 aircraft. Very, very cool. Light, nimble. Just basically just like the SPS, but with way more power. It has the R13 engine. The SPS has the R11 engine. I confused with the S variant, not the SPS, right? But yeah, 10.3, amazing aircraft, one of the best out there. Let's add the F4F early. This is quite an interesting aircraft. It can be fairly okay. I think the real problem with it, I would add it right here, it's because it doesn't have flares on it. It does have fairly good missiles and stuff, but the lack of flares limits this aircraft. You know, it's the lightest F4 in the game in the sense of the ease, but, you know, it's problematic in that sense because it doesn't have the flares in Chef, right? So let's go for the next one, F104G. I think he has a very high BR, but he can be a fairly good aircraft. If he has the BR that he needs, you know, I think he would be a very good aircraft over here. He has the flares in Chef, he has the 9Js, 10.7 is a high BR for it, but it's pretty alright. You can do well if you know what you're doing. You need to have the speed and basically not have a very high up tier, but it can do very well. Then we're going to add the F4F, the normal one. This one is actually pretty good as well. I mean, I would say that it's... Let me think about it. Is it better than the F104J? Is it? I mean, it's definitely better than this one. And it's one of the... I mean, that's the thing. I would say I would just add these two over here because they are a higher BR and they can get some higher tiers. For example, the MiG-21 can have a lower BR and then it gets normally lower tiers to fight. If he gets the normal like BR, I would say that it might be even better than the MiG-21. The problem is that the higher BR, you normally will face some 11.7, 11.0s, 11.3s, so that it makes it a little bit harder. But probably better than the F104. It's a heavier aircraft, but it dogfights pretty well to be an F4, right? It's the lightest F4 of them all, you know. So yeah. Then we have the MiG-21B Saul. I think it's a very good aircraft. I mean, it's obviously better than the MF. You know, that's the thing. It depends on the BR that he gets. If he gets a higher BR, if he gets a 12.0, it will be worse. But the thing is that, I mean, I don't know. It's just a complicated thing because if you are comparing to the lower BRs, if it's facing lower BRs, normally these aircraft over here, it will be like way better. It has the better engine, everything like that. So yeah. Then we go for the Lazur. Lazur is basically the same aircraft, you know, it's a premium, so it has that going for it, but it's basically the same aircraft. This Saul just has a different system over there. And obviously, out of all these aircraft, I still think the MiG-23MF is an amazing aircraft. I will actually add this one, like right in the middle here. It depends on the BR that they face. That's the thing. That's an addition that I will make. Then we go for the US. The US has a lot of them as well. F4C, I mean, I like the F4C, but it's a pretty difficult aircraft to fly. I mean, it has its perks and features, but it lacks on not having the flares, and the maneuverability is bad. So for the majority of the players, it's not a very good aircraft. The F8U, I mean, it can be fairly okay. I think it's easier to fly than the F4C. But, I mean, I would probably add it right here. I mean, I don't know, because it will face... I mean, it does have flares, right? And this doesn't. Both of these, they did not have it. So probably we'll add it right here. It depends on the situation. Has a limit on the speed. It's a very good dogfighter. The missiles are okay, but they're worse than these aircraft, I would say. At least in my opinion. I mean, maybe... I don't know. Now that I added the SPS over here, I would probably add it right here maybe, because I think the F8U having flares and stuff, it's a little bit easier to fly than the SPS. It might be, right? Something like this. Of course, I will change depending on whatever I am doing. Let's add both the F5s over here. They're basically the same aircraft, right? So I think they are very, very good aircraft for 10.3. I mean, I would still take a MiG-21MF because of the R60s. But in a dogfight, these things can beat the MiG-21MF depending on the pilot. And I don't know, it just depends on the pilots. They are very much on the same like level of performance of all of these, but having their own unique features. This one will be more of a dogfight. This is a middle ground. This is kind of a middle ground as well, more due to the side of the interceptor. And this is a fully interceptor, so it depends on the pilot, I would say. F5E, this is amazing. I mean, I have to put it right here. I still think that it's worse than the MiG-23MF, but having the 10.7 BR, it makes it better than the MiG-21 BIS. I think the BIS is a better aircraft, but the F5E having the 10.7 makes it a more OP aircraft than the Beast on the 11.0s, because 11.0s fight a lot of 12.0s sometimes. So I would put it on the middle there. The F4E, also an amazing aircraft. I say it's in the mix over here. I would say it's a little bit worse than these because it doesn't have a properly good radar to actually deal with the ground clutter. You know, not that this is amazing, but it's better than this. But it does have BVR, but it has worse missiles than these ones. I mean, this one and this one has R60Ms, and this one as well. This doesn't. And the F5E, I think it's just, I mean, with its BR, it's a better option than the F4E. Let's go for the USSR. This video will be way too long, I think. SMT, I mean, I had to put it like probably right here. It has more power than EMF, so if you take low fuel, it is an amazing aircraft. It has the flares, it has the R60s, amazing aircraft. Let's wrap it up the video a little bit quicker. Oh, bugged. MiG-21 BIS, I would just put it in the middle here. It's the same as the other ones. MiG-23M, basically the same as over here. I see it's the same level of these aircraft. And MiG-27K, it's one that it's problematic because it's not a proper fighter and it doesn't have any type of BVR weaponry, but it is as good as these ones. I would say that it's better than the BIS and the other aircraft over here. So yeah, but I mean, because it's a very light MiG-23, right? But it's not as good as the MiG-23. I still prefer to use the MiG-23s. Let's see, Japan. Japan has a lot of aircraft. Let me just remove these ones so that you can actually know it's just the MiG-21s, right? MiG-21 bases, this one as well. I mean, you know that it's the MiG-23M over here, and then this is the BIS, just to make sure we kind of are on the same page. This is the same. I'm just going to remove it to have the time over here. F1, interesting aircraft. Like, it's difficult because it doesn't have flares, but it's a pretty good aircraft. I would say that it's a difficult one. I would say, yeah, it's worse than this, and it's worse than this, but better than that. Yeah, it's probably right here. Probably, it's good, but not that good. F104J, I think it's on the same level of performance as this, but it doesn't have flares or anything like that, so it's worse than these ones. Better than the F1 for sure. The F4EJ, I mean, it's kind of like the same as this one, but it doesn't have Gyro Eagle, so I would add it right here. It's a very good aircraft, but it has its problems. Does he have the... I forgot that if he has the AIM-782 or not. I don't think he does, right? So if he doesn't have it, it's probably right here. It's good, but not that good. And the AJ, I mean, it's the same aircraft. I would just not add it, but it would be basically right here. To be honest, man, I think this aircraft is not that good. I would add it right here. Just because I think these aircraft are easier to fly than this one because of the missiles. Great Britain, we have only one, the Hunter F6. I mean, it's an alright aircraft, but I don't think it's that good. I mean, he lacks the range on the missiles, he lacks the range, the speed and everything like that. F104J, the same as the German one in pretty much everything, so I would just add it right there. The F104S, I think it's a fairly okay aircraft, but it's not that good. I mean, it doesn't have anything going for it. You know, it's pretty limited, although he received the flares, but still, it's pretty limited. The TOF is pretty much the same as this one. I think it's a limited aircraft in the sense that of the missiles, of the BR, you know. It's a very good aircraft. It would be on par with these ones in most things. But the thing is that with just AIM-9Js and basically that, you know, if you use the missiles, you basically don't have the ability to carry a cannon. You're just a very limited aircraft. In general, you're a very limited aircraft. At that BR specifically, right? If it faces a down tier, it can deal with most targets. But the thing is just that if it is an 11.0 aircraft, it will face 12.0s most of the time. France, what does France has? Of course, the Mirages. The Mirage 3, let me just add it right like up here. It's a very good aircraft for 10.3. It can kill a lot of targets. The C variant, a little bit worse, you know, so I would put it right, probably, it's better than this one. It has magic, so probably right here. because it doesn't have flares or anything like that, it should be worse than those ones. Then we have the Mirage 5F. I mean, it's an okay aircraft. I mean, 10.0 with magics. So I would say that it might even be easier to fly than the Mirage 3C, to be honest, just because of that. And the F8E FN, I mean, it's an okay aircraft. I don't think it's the most amazing thing ever. Then we go for Israel. Oh my god, so many aircraft. I would not add these ones because they're basically the same as the Mirage 3C. This one just has a lower BR and it doesn't have a magic missile. So, I mean, I can add this one, actually. So I would say that it's better than these ones. I would add it right here. But the thing is that it has a limitation of numbers there, so I will just not add it. Kafir Canard, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't like this aircraft. 10.7, and it doesn't have Kafir, the Pythons. I don't like this aircraft. I would add it just right here because of the BR of it. The C2 can be a very deadly aircraft. I would put it right in the mix over here. I mean, it has the Pythons, right? But it has only 2, so it would be in the mix over here, I would say, right? Let me add this one over here to make sure I need to add another one over here. And then I can add the Shahak, basically. And the Kurdas is basically the same as the F4E, so I will not add it. Okay, come on, please. So, yeah, the Shahak, I would say that it's even better than this. I mean, it's probably right here because it is 10.0 like this one, but it is a lower BR than the Mirage 3C with its own type of missiles. So it's kind of more fun to fly this one than this one. Let's be honest. Israel, Sweden. No Swedish aircraft in this BR range? What? Is this right? I mean, let me just reset. Is this right? No, there is aircraft over here, right? I mean, it's probably not ready yet, so I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to give them a chance of adding this. Like, J7D, I think it's a very good aircraft. It's probably around over here, I would say. Maybe adding the Mirage here just to have a little bit of time there. The J8B can be an amazing aircraft, so I would say that it's better than this ones. Yeah, it's better than this. Probably not easier to fly than this ones, I would say, right? J7E, I mean, for 11.0s, man, this is like right up top. I mean, I prefer the MiG-23 than the other ones, but the J7E is probably better than that. I just prefer to fly the MiG-23 more, but I understand that most players would say that the J7E is better. F5E, obviously the same as the American one, so consider that it's right there. The F5A, same as the other one, but it has a different missile. So, get out of here. So it's pretty interesting. I would say, let me think. 10.7 is still a high BR, but it's pretty light. It has less engine power. So I would say that it's less likely to be that deadly. I think maybe something like this. F104J, I mean, pretty much the same as the other ones, but I don't think it has flares as well. So it would be kind of bad. Probably like right here. And the A5, it's a very good aircraft for grinding out, but it's not the most amazing aircraft ever as well. I would say that it's like this. I mean, J7, MiG-23, 27, 21, Kafir, F5. This makes sense, J8. Yeah, F5A, F4E, Mirage, J7D, SMT. I know the J7D is better than the SMT for sure. It's like almost a BIS. It just doesn't have the power of the BIS. That's why it's probably worse than the other ones. No, it's probably better than this one, right? I don't know. I feel like it's better than the Mirage 3 for sure. It's right here. Well, let's just leave it right there to not change too much. I think it's pretty alright, man. I think it's pretty alright. The problem is that it has the limitations of the number of things, so they might need to add more, something like that. And for some reason, the Swedish aircraft are just not appearing over here. Let me just try to do this, and then the AJS appears. Let me increase it a little bit more. Yeah, it's not ready yet, as you see. It's not working sometimes. But anyway, this is it, guys. Kind of just a trial to see what happens. Let me know in the comments if you like this type of tier list, or if you prefer mines, the normal ones that I normally do. Just let me know in the comments. And I might do another one of these on the tanks. It's just that this one is already too long. So let me just wrap this video up, okay? I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe and bye. See ya.